beyond. Go beyond. Go beyond the game.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dingus Hammer. So, this I don't know whether when I'm gonna upload this episode, but it's gonna be probably when we're gonna be in Italy. So this is a recorded training session, and yes, we're gonna close all the rays are actually bullshit. So there you go. So this was the game against your favorite player. What's going on YouTube? James Shyhammer. If you didn't know, he has his channel going back and up, and he's been recording videos. So he's back in the game. He's doing his usual ETC practice. That means like every day a game or two games. Like he's really practicing for it. That's how he gets back on the form of the top form and the top shape before going to ETC. And so here are our lists. And this is my deployment. This is the map that he rolled, and basically it's a normal deployment. And the secondary is capture the flag. So he chose the sites. He gave me this wonderful site over here. I chose to deploy all out. I chose to deploy over here because I have the scouting scraplings, and I can make DTs out of all those wonderful terrains over here. Also, I didn't choose this side or deploying on both sides because of this hill. It's pretty pain in the ass. I didn't feel like I can start the game and just walk up all on the hill, and maybe there was a mistake in the hindsight, but I don't think that one block in 1v1 can take I could take this block over here. But I think after the game I could revise the stand. Also, we didn't know that I thought that the Liger's tank takes away from the unit's profile, so he doesn't work against parapets. We got the different ruling on that it works against parapets, so that changes things also. But this is a nasty unit. I wasn't sure if I could take it one-on-one. So basically I decided that I'm going to deploy over here, and I'm going to try to shoot the crap out of him before coming in. And I mean, we both have pyro, so you know, I have higher toughness. Maybe I'll be able to do a little bit more with that. At the beginning, I was playing also with an idea of putting the tribesmen over here. Tribesmen would like to be able to defend the wall and all that, but that would push my main brick to the side. That would not give me opportunity to cast double flaming swords on both of my bombardiers, and I pretty much gave up on the idea. So we got two cannons, tribesmen, kitty, catapult, bombardiers, my Death Star with bruisers in, kitty, cannon, bombardiers. Pretty simple, right? Maybe I should open up a second window. Can I open it up again? Oh, looks like I can. All right, so where are we? Boom, there we are. So that's my deployment, and then we go to James's deployment. So we got on the left forest goblins with bows and bow creepers throwing open the banner of Relentless. Then we got 20 common goblins with just like a shield. No, those are orcs. Those are orcs, common orcs, heavy armor, and crossbow musician over here. Then a unit of trolls, cave trolls. Then a giant with a giant club and a big brother. Then we got Zod, his general on the chariot. Where is he? Orc Warlord, General Common Orc Boar Chariot, Shield Parapets with Touch of the Greatness, Heavy Armor, Basalt Infusion, Talisman of Shielding, Crown of Autocracy. Then 28 Adbashers, Feral Parapets, Mom of Stabber, Standard Bear, Green Tide, Musician Champion, 3 Wolf Chariots, and Goblin King on Ratchatula with Shield Breaker and the Crown of the Wizard King. So this is James's list. I think he changed it for ETC, but this is what we're practicing. Oh, and the unit of spiders over here that I forgot to mention. And so I'm putting down my scouts also, so I'm going to be scouting over here. I'm going to make the field DTs, and I'm going to move Vanguard into the ruin like yeah. And in the first turn, I'm going to make the ruins DTs also. So here we are. He vanguarded his spiders closer to the house, but he's trying to hide them from the bombardiers or any other shooting. Yes, I'm not kind of I'm not gonna say I'm kind of surprised. Actually, it's probably a good move that he did it, so that I wouldn't be able to shoot him first turn because he deployed so far away that I don't have ranges. So this is a first turn. I moved up. I casted 3 dice. 3 dice. I'm drawing blank on the name. Fireball. Onto the archers, and he stopped that. There was a bounce spell level 8, so I casted 5 dice flaming swords, and I was able to get it. 5 dice, 5 dice, yes. That was kind of a risky move, but I thought, well, this is on me because I should have chosen Cascading Fire probably as instead of Enveloping Ambers, but Enveloping Ambers are kind of a good spell. So yeah, it's just that the Cascading Fire, it would let me cast spells also on his spiders over here, right? So I would have 3 spells to cast instead of 2. So I wouldn't run to the idea of do I want to blow up my wizard. So this is I forgot also to move this unit, but when James moved up, I don't understand why it's. So in his turn, he casted the Cascading Fire on them, and with the attribute clean them up. This is where he is. He also casted Scorching Salvo and did a couple of wounds here. Then he took one of the bombardiers. He took did a couple of wounds to the tribesmen. Oh, in my first turn of shooting, also I was able to put a bunch of wounds on the giant because of the new recruit, or the way that he has it, he can count wounds. It's just hard to see. I misfired the catapult and wounded myself. I misfired the catapult, second catapult, and I can shoot it more. But both the cannons, for some reason, hit. So that's a bonus, right? I put the bombardiers in the into the wall for the hard cover. So anyhow, he deletes my scraplings, which forgot to move, which they wouldn't even come to play because I was going to put them somewhere over here to be putting the extra screening. I guess I could have screened the tribesmen, but that would prevent them from charging. So all in all, it didn't really matter where I would put them. I could have put the DTs on the wall, but that's an afterthought. I didn't think about it at the moment, and yeah, so they're dead now, and there's no point. He moved everything. The trolls, he moved really up. He's like, yeah, you want to charge them, but you're gonna need like I think 11s to get there, or 10. And if you do, then and if you don't slaughter them if for any reason they're still there, then he has a bunch of counter charges. And I was like, or if I don't overrun enough, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. My chaff is way too far away from that. He also put, yeah. So my next turn, I moved up. I decided that I want to have a front for the giant if he wants to charge, but I want to just move up the flank, clear his crossbows. I don't want to be taking crossbow shots into the face. Maybe clean the archers, and I pivot the bombardiers to be able to shoot on into the spiders. I need to get rid of them. The catapult cannot shoot, so the one that cannot shoot just moved up to be able to counter charge in case he charges me with the trolls and they're stick for any reason, and I need the help. The other catapult pivoted so that it can see the head bashers. And I'm trying to kill the giant because it has 6 wounds. So what I was able to cast. I don't remember what I was trying to cast, but I was able to get flaming swords on myself. And I moved up the bombardiers. Basically, the bombardiers were serving over here. Like I couldn't get the lines of sight if they stayed where they were, and I couldn't get the proper. I don't have musicians on them, so I couldn't get the proper wheel on them. If I would keep them over here, so I decided that well the bombardiers will have to go. I have two options: I can flee, I can charge, but basically I move them up and to shoot in case also I need to put last wound on the giant. But I think I was hoping for, those bubble flaming swords, so I was hoping to get some more wounds on the trolls. And this is what happened. I was able to kill four of those spiders. They fled with those bombardiers. One of the cannons misfired and wounded themselves. The second cannon killed the giant. I killed one troll over here, and that's between the bombardiers and the viper skirts and the crossbow and all that. So this is where we are. And on James' turn, he decided that he would charge the bombardiers. And I could have fled, but I looked at my positioning. If I flee and I end up like somewhere over here, and he rolls high because he called Wa, and he catches me, and I have this unit of the trolls. Suddenly, the trolls that I think I can manage easily in 1v1, especially with any buffs. Suddenly, I don't think I can manage them on the flank. Suddenly, I have to be chaffing them, reorganizing my rear, and just like while he's pushing on the right side, it's like this is not what I want to deal with. So I decided to stand, and if he overruns, then I have this catapult that can also charge him, and I think between those two units, I can maybe kill the whole unit before he gets to do much damage. Especially since I also have distracting over here is perfect, right? But it's actually it turns out to be a mistake in the way of my positioning because it's a flank. So anyhow, he charges. Of course, he gets the flank, he kills them, and then he reforms like that. This is his movement. So he decided to pop his banner for marching and gets behind my unit of tribes. And now, boys and girls watching that, remember that when you're using a banner of Relentless Company, you cannot shoot, which we both didn't really know at the moment. So he got behind me and he casted Flaming Swords on them and was able to shoot 40 tomahawks into the flank and rear of my tribesmen, and was able to do 10 wounds. I think I saved 2, so ouchie. Like the a lot of damage happened over here. And of course he saw the bombardiers. I did a wound over here to the trolls, whoopee AA. He moved the spiders on the flank. He put the chariots behind the DT terrain. He forgot that didn't understand, forgot or whatever happened over there that he didn't he moved into the field. I said take DTs, and he was like, wait a second, let's back up. So he put those those chariots outside of the DTs and threatening counter charges. And for me, well, I don't have much choice. I have to deal with those trolls. I don't. So far, it doesn't work very well for the chipping wounds on them. He matched those crossbows, but they're still in my line of sight. And he put his general for counter charge because obviously he's expecting to flee. And my choice is turn around and trying to catch these guys, which is one of the options. But then I thought, well, I'll turn around, I'll make sure that he's not able to escape, but then he's gonna chaff me and escape with his characters, and I'll have to try to, kill his characters, and before they, well, I'm not sure if they couldn't probably jump in. So maybe that would be a smarter choice. Maybe that would be a good choice to do it. But instead, I decided that I'll charge those crossbows over here, and I'll charge those trolls. Forget the name for a second, and then I'll try to challenge or whatever with the Zod and try to maybe buff them in the magic combat, something trying to survive. But this is what happened. He actually fled 2 inches, and since I just have to touch, I decided to just touch the corner over here and pivot on my leadership. Now this is good because his General Zod doesn't see the tribesmen, see no evil, heal no evil. The problem is that now they're super far away from my leadership, which I will have to reform my charge, and I was like, well, I'll have to go into the horde formation to get into 18 inches over here. Maybe I'll have to pivot into the ruin even. Like, I'll have to pivot and reform a lot to get leadership to this. I chaff his spider in the shape of my BSB and the general so that I would be able to pass his terror check. And I miss my cannon shots into him. And his brother Jesse was telling me how it's good to always put a wound on 2 on the. But I was thinking basically with the bombardier. He was like, yeah, it's always good to put 1 or 2 wounds on the spiders because that's what usually gets you. You miss killing it by 1 or 2 wounds in the combat. But I decided that I'll be shooting into the. I shot first the catapults into the Edbashers, and I was able to hit with both, I believe, and do some crazy damage. I decided, no, with 1, I think. Well, maybe 2. 2, but I didn't roll very hard. And he rolled a couple of 6s over here, so yes, 2 catapults both hit. So the first time the catapults actually did anything, so I was like, well, instead of maybe trying to put 1 wound, I have no flaming swords, I was able to only get a hereditary spell on. I actually failed casting, I think, flaming swords or his stuff. I don't remember exactly. I didn't get a. I think I failed casting the flaming sword. I was going to cast just on the unit, and I think I rolled 1-1-3. So I got 2 dice back, and yeah. So I shot the bombardiers into Edbashers instead of trying to chip on 6s a wound of the spider. With AP2, who knows if I'll do anything. And I got, for my trouble, I think 2 Edbashers. So yay. So I win the combat with the trolls. I pretty much slaughter them. Then James whiffs. Yeah, you can see he doesn't roll very well for his regions, nor attacks, and he fails his discipline and runs. And I restrain pursuing because if I'll pursue not only to the ruins, but I'll give a juicy flank for everything over here. Alright, after a couple of weeks of break, let's return to this battle report. So, last we saw, I chased the trolls away. I mean, I didn't chase the trolls away. I restrained the pursuit not to get the flank charge, and I reformed. And I reformed the long way, as you can see, just to get 18 inches from my general Great Khan to the bruisers, because I got Banner of Discipline, so they can, even if they suffer damage, they can hopefully survive. And I think I did it enough to have just slightly to the middle guy, so even if I lose 4 guys, I'll still have my leadership. Especially since the champion will be the last one alive, so whoops, I would not have a Banner of Discipline, but anyhow, unlikely. So as I turn around, extended myself into the horde formation and chaffed the spider. So on James' turn, he charged the chaff, and that was probably his only charge. So aligned, and then he failed the rally with the trolls. He didn't really move much, so he moved actually back with his big unit of Edbashers. Stayed with the K-Pack, probably just to counter-charge whatever. If I get in, or if I fail charge, maybe things like that. But at this point, he's killing the chaff and moved overrun and chaffs me with a spider. He takes, of course, a couple of wounds, going through my units, failing on 1, 2, 3s, and with the region. He moves up his bunker, he moves up his General Zod, and tries to blast my poor tribesmen. But he doesn't get that much done on them. So on my turn, I charge the spider. I'm like, charge flank, big flank, I got that multiple wounds, D3 general over there, and BSB that hit like ton of guys with strength 6. This unit hits like a brick, I'll get some magic off, and all and behold, I fail to cast Hereditary, he dispels flame swords, and I get a Rod of Battle. I reform the tribesmen. They're now outside of my generals. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it somehow at the end, but right now they're outside, and that's the best I can do to avoid. I was playing a lot with them. I was trying to go march forward, going back, and nothing was quite working. So I decided to reform and move back, facing goblins, who actually got shot by I believe it was cannon shot. Or maybe it was a catapult. I think it was no, it was a catapult. The one that couldn't see anything over here shot at them. The goblins killed a bunch of them. Bombardiers were able to shoot at the chariot. Got a bunch of wounds on. He failed his panic check. Flees away. The spider is continuing fleeing away. This unit, of course, is not participating in the battle at all. He doesn't want to lose the secondary because of them. And the trolls. Yeah, the trolls are. I mean, it's my turn, so yeah, the trolls are still there. So I moved the cannon up because I mean it cannot shoot anymore. And I got other catapult shot over here, killed, as you can see, 4 guys, 4 Edbashers. So this unit is finally becoming manageable. And here is the thing: he challenges, right? He's saying challenge, and I accepted it with my Great Khan. I mean, he's losing 1 attack from each model part and all that, yada yada yada. Here it was a mistake. I was like, yeah, Great Khan, let's go. He can kill the spider. I think I should have refused this challenge. Even if he's like, okay, you cannot use your general, or he's like, you cannot use your BSB. I'm like, fine. I got so many bruiser attacks with +1 to hit, so I hit you on 3s, I wound you on 4s, that I'll probably do more wounds with them than I will do with the 5 attacks from the general with multiple wounds C3. But I accepted with the general, and this is where we go. General gets 4 wounds on him, and the spider gets 7 wounds. And I do a wrong reform, so I have to end up reforming back over there. So we're still sticking in the challenge. I cannot get in the ranks. I cannot get too close to those bombardiers. And on his turn, he fails to rally on chariots, moves up with the other unit of goblins just to not get panicked. He rallies with the trolls. He's still chaffing me with this time, chaffing me this way, this Zod, and it's like, where do I even go with this unit, right? I can't get 18 inches, so I'm on their own leadership with a reroll, Panero Discipline, but, I'm looking at the possibility of losing them. So he goes boosted Pyroflow, rolls 1 on 5, 6, 14. I have 6 dice, I rolled 5 dice, and I roll 1 on 1, 3, 3. So I get 3 dice back, I lose 2 dice. And this is what happens. So that's why I recorded that, because he rolls 10 hits. He wounded 9 times, right? And I'm like, oh, get shit on. I'm gonna lose this unit, right? Here comes my armor says, boom, 7 sixes. That's why you can't can't foresee things like that happening. So I get 2 wounds, not even I think enough for the panic at this point. So on okay, I got focus on that, but I killed the spider, but the spider killed me also. So I'm not. Oh wait, no. So what happened here? I had to skip something because I think he killed my general, and then he challenged next time, and I refused the challenge. I think, and I killed his spider. I think I missed the. Let's see that. Yes, this is where the chariots were. So we missed. So it's all his turn, and then it gets my turn. I think that's the end of my turn, where I killed his spider. So I moved away, pivot, move away with the tribesmen. Now I don't have my general anymore, but I still have VSB, still have Banner of Discipline on these guys, still have my magic, and I reform in the bus formation. The cannon keeps moving up. The catapult fails to hit. I'm chipping wounds over here. I think I tried to shoot at the cannon, second cannon into the Zod. The cannon broke. The artillery is not loving me this game. And here we are for his turn. And in his turn, he charges with his general. I stand and shoot, and I do nothing. And this is he charged also with his head bashers, and no, he moved up with his head bashers, I think, and he failed. And he moved up with his trolls, moved up with his bunker, tries to pyro flow me again. He boosted it. I try to dispel. I failed to dispel. He gets 36. He rolls 16. He wounds 10, and he deletes the unit between the 10. No, the 10 wounds. Oh yeah, I saved one. So yeah, the tribesmen are gone. Long live tribesmen. They did their. I think their role. They soaked all the magic. They killed the crossbows. I could have played with them better. Yes, there was a mistake with moving the goblins made over there that they shot. Not that it mattered terribly. Just pyromancy against ogres that have only 5 up. It's rough, right? But here is the situation. So I have a choice. I have a choice to go into his general, but he has a 1-up, I think. Or basically, it's tough. And I have a choice to go after his scoring unit, secondary. So I can go secondary or general and hope that, with a charge and all the attacks and everything, I can overrun into the flank of the goblins and kill them. It's like they go secondary or they go general, wizard, goblins, and all that. And I decided to go after the secondary. I decided to go after secondary, and I decided that let's try to go after the trolls. Maybe if I'll get in there, maybe I can kill them. I got 4 wounds left. I can lag out with the cannon. So if not, I'll stand before the ruin, and he can charge me through the ruin. So what could go wrong, right? I managed to get in. I managed to get flaming swords and wipe the unit out completely. And reform, I chaffed the sword. I reform like that, and this is where we are at. I think I get some hits on the goblins. Not that it's meaningful. I'm not gonna be able to wipe the unit. I failed to charge the cannon. So on his turn, he charges the cannon. He charges the chaff, and he moves up to try to blow up the bombardiers. So he casts the cascading fire. I stop it. Then he's able to. Oh, I rolled the leadership double once for. Yeah, he grows double 6 for probably pyroclastic flow. I do even couple of saves. Oh no, he does only 4 wounds. I save 1. I lose 3. So. And then he adds attribute over there to the bombardiers. He basically tries to panic them to save his secondary objective. And yeah, he manages to charge the trolls without taking a single wound from the DT, so it's like wah wah wah. And this is where we end up. I think he wins the combat with the cannon, doesn't do any wounds, but I think we just both whiffed, but he charged, so... No, he did 2 wounds, okay, so he charges, does 2 wounds, I flee, he pursues, he doesn't get any wound, he just doesn't catch me. And yeah, he kills the chaff, and this is where we are at. It's a 12-8 victory for me. Oh yeah, he's he still puts shooting on. He still caused panic. I still passed the panic on the bombardiers, so that was lucky for me. And bunch of mistakes that I did against those orcs and goblins, but that was a good practice. And next time, no accepting on the challenge when I have a giant flank charge on the spider with bunch of angry bruisers. So that was one thing, and the other thing is pay attention to especially things like the banner of the Relentless Company, especially on the skirmishes, because damn, they're annoying. Alright, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that. Love to have you over here. Thanks again. Bye.